Hello guys, today we have a Hong Kong-based horror movie, an urban legend, named The Womb Ghost.
So, without further ado, let's begin.
At the beginning of the movie we see a girl in a hospital. She was screaming, "Don't take me anywhere." The doctors were taking her to an operation theater. But she blocks the door by her legs and starts screaming. She then looks up towards the ceiling and she suddenly stops yelling. She seemed petrified, like she saw something on the ceiling. They then take her to the operation theater as the girl was pregnant. But sadly her baby was dead. The doctors were trying to take the baby out of her womb. And we can see that the girl was looking towards someone at the walls and was telling someone to go away from there. Then scene shifts to a doctor named Dr. Tracy. Another doctor approaches her and she says that the pregnant woman was admitted to a psychiatric hospital before. And she became pregnant in the hospital. They even did DNA test on every single man from the hospital, but no one was found positive. They could not find the father of the dead baby, and it was quite weird that someone from outside the hospital came inside the hospital premises and impregnated the girl in such tight security. We also get to know that the girl had twins inside her womb and none of the two had matching DNA with the girl. Whose child was inside the girl was a complete mystery. Then we see a ghost of a kid coming through the wall. Then we see a girl named Winnie and she was pregnant. It was her 3rd month. She goes to meet a doctor and the doctor prescribes her some medicine. The doctor tells her that she should take the medicine every night before going to bed. Then we see the girl at her house and she is seen taking the medicine before going to her bed. Then she suddenly gets severe stomach cramps and she goes to toilet. She vomits everything. And she starts bleeding from her stomach. The scene then changes to Dr. Joseph and Nurse Joey, and they both were a couple, but Joseph was already married, so it was an extramarital affair. Joseph and Joey meets and starts having a conversation. Joseph forcefully tries to get intimate with Joey. Then Joey sees a ghostly figure of a girl, and she slaps Joseph by mistake. Joseph then gets angry and yells at Joey. Joey yells loudly at Joseph and they both leave the scene. We then see a guy named Locke, who was Joey's stepfather and he was a priest. Then we see Winnie working in a restaurant, and she was a waitress. Then we see Locke, who was standing alone at the side of a road. He peeks at an apartment near the road. The apartment belonged to a girl named Jenna and she was talking with her boyfriend. She was pregnant, and her boyfriend was forcing her to abort the baby, but Jenna did not want to abort the baby, as she wanted to live with her boyfriend and the baby could be the only way for her. Inside the room we see spirit of a baby. Then, as Jenna was passing through the baby's spirit hits on Jenna's stomach, and Jenna feels the pain but she has no idea who really hit her. We see that Locke was talking with someone but there was no one we could see, as he was standing alone, so the police get suspicious and asks him about a bag that Locke was holding. Locke takes out a charm from his bag. That was for the ghost. Then the police sends him away. We see Joey, who was getting ready to go to her house. Then we see her nurse friend who brings a placenta of a baby. Placenta is the body part that nourishes the baby inside the womb. The friend also says Joey had taken 46 pills and these pills were for abortion. We have no idea what Joey did with those pills. She says that a Chinese doctor prescribed her the medicine and it would help improve her condition. The friend then asks her does she sells those pills outside the hospital. Then Joey says that her friend should trust her. Joey was about to check out of the hospital. She reaches the counter and there she sees no one at the counter. Then the friend comes near Joey and suddenly everyone starts appearing in the counter, and Joey thinks that she must be seeing things. Joey then goes to her house. She looks into her dustbin where she finds a mouse, and she gets scared. She sets a pan on a cooking stove and cracks open an egg. From inside the egg a small human baby falls in her pan and she gets scared. Then her father Locke comes to the kitchen and he asks her why was she screaming, and she tells him about the egg. But when Locke looks at the pan there was nothing but just a chicken egg. Locke then asks Joey if she has brought the thing that he had asked her before and she says yes. Locke had asked her to bring human blood. Locke then starts pouring the blood on the ground. Joey asks him why is he giving human blood to Fath. Locke replies that if he doesn't do that then he won't have any special abilities and he would be worthless. We don't know anything about Fath. In previous scene we had seen Locke talking with someone invisible. It was actually Fath. Then we had seen a kid's spirit. It was Fath. Locke asks Fath to eat something but Fath doesn't cooperate, so Locke hits Fath mercilessly. Then Fath starts eating the thing. We can clearly understand if Fath eats it then the development would occur in the soil on which Locke had poured the blood. We can understand that there was some connection with the soil. When Locke was hitting Fath, Joey says that Fath knows that if he eats this then he wouldn't get another life. Actually Locke wanted to keep Fath with him forever. Fath could listen to the words of Joey, so Locke gets angry at his stepdaughter and verbally abuses her. So she leaves. Then we see past scenes about Fath and Locke. We get to know about how Locke met Fath. One day Locke had gone to a house with Joey. The house had a girl who was pregnant. Locke was trying to deliver the baby before 9 months. There was a nurse with them. Locke does some rituals on the girl. And the nurse takes the baby out of the girl's womb. Locke does some rituals on the baby and keeps it inside a bag. The baby was actually Fath and he had trapped Fath before his birth. Then we see a lady who is there to meet a girl named Joyous. And Joyous used to manage prostitute and the girl was searching for jobs. Joyous asks the girl when can she join the work. The girl says she could join at any time and Joyous says that she should start now. Then we see Winnie who was there to work with Joyous. She was a waitress and not a prostitute. Joseph looking at Winnie's photo. She had pictures with other men. Actually, Winnie was Joseph's wife. Joseph talks to Joey after looking at the pictures. Then Winnie arrives and asks him who is he talking to. He says that he is just talking to a friend. Joseph then shows Winnie the photos and asks her who were those men in the photos with her. She says that they are her customers. Joseph scolds her as he thinks that she is working as a prostitute, but she wasn't. She says that she serves them drinks only and they are her customers, but Joseph doesn't believe her and yells at her. He comes out of the house and calls Joey. Joseph tells Joey that he will come to her house. In the next scene we see the new prostitute girl. She was visiting Locke with a friend as she had some problems. Locke asks 38,000 yen for the work, which was quite expensive. Then they were about to leave and Locke says that he knows what is inside her bag. Then the girls believe in Locke. The prostitute had only 8,000 yen so she asks 30,000 yen from her friend. Then Locke touches the bag and realizes that it was the truth. This was done by Fath's magic. Locke tells them the solution to their problems and the both girl leave. Locke had asked the exact money as he knew that they had only that much money in their bag. Then we see Winnie talking with Joyce that she has a sister who lives in Los Angeles and she runs a laundry shop. She will stay with her sister as her husband doesn't treat her right. Joyce says that her husband is doing a grave mistake by fighting with his wife, as his wife is the best girl in the whole world, and also says that if her husband is exactly like how Winnie told her then she should separate from him. Then we see Joseph sleeping with Joey. He wakes up and goes to the bathroom. Behind him Joey also follows. Then suddenly Joseph disappears. She searches him and reaches to her bed. Then we see the baby's spirit coming near Joey and it rips open her stomach, and it enters her stomach. Then Joey wakes up from her sleep and we see that it was just her nightmare. Joseph holds Joey's hand and says that she might be pregnant. In next scene we see Joey having lunch in her hospital. She opens her lunchbox and she sees worms crawling. She then screams, but again when she looks at her lunchbox, it was just a normal lunch and no worms. Joey returns back to her house and she could feel the presence of someone in her house. She then sees a ghost of a girl and she gets scared. She then rushes outside her house and calls her father. She tells him everything. But Locke doesn't take her seriously and cuts her call. Then after some time Locke calls Joey on her cell phone. Then he sees the ghost of a girl. The ghost freezes Locke's body at a place, and he calls Fath. Fath comes to the scene but he doesn't help Locke. The girl then takes Locke's heart out of his body, and Locke dies. We then see that the soil where Locke used to pour human blood had Fath's body buried under it. Locke had trapped Fath's spirit, and now it is free. Next day Dr. Joseph tells Joey that she is pregnant, but she did not want to abort and she wanted to get married with Joseph. Joseph says that he will think about the marriage later on. Then we see past scenes. Winnie had a horrible time with the pregnancy, so Joseph wants to abort the baby. He says that they would consult a doctor and if the baby is healthy then they won't abort the baby. They go and meet the doctor and they get to know that baby was healthy. Then we see Joseph talking with the doctors. He says that he had given multiple contraceptive shots to Joey, and the doctor is also ready to help Joseph. But when the doctor goes near a window and tries to lean towards it, the window falls. We see Joseph with Joey and he seemed worried. Joey tries to comfort him but he gets angry at her. Then Joey leaves. After some time when Joey returns she sees that Joseph has disappeared and there was no one. She feels the presence of someone. She again sees the spirit of the girl, and the spirit was trying to kill her. She takes a knife and stabs the spirit but there was no spirit, it was Joseph, and she had killed Joseph. Then the spirit comes near Joey. She goes near a window and says that she won't be haunted by the spirit anymore and she jumps from the window. We then see that Joey was still alive after the fall. The spirit was on top of her and many people arrive at the scene. Then the scene shifts to mental asylum where we see Joey. She was still haunted by the ghost and she was still trying to kill the ghosts. Then we see Dr. Tracy. And the girl at the beginning of the movies was no one other than Joey herself. Tracy along with the doctor then goes to see the dead twin babies and both were daughters. Both's DNA matched with Dr. Joseph, but the surprising thing was the baby's DNA didn't match with Joey. Doctor says that it seemed like someone kept fertilized egg inside Joey's womb, and it was impossible to do. Joey was still haunted by the spirits of the girls, and we see Winnie too. She was staring at Joey. Tracy asks Winnie if she knows Joey and Winnie says she doesn't know Joey. Joey then talks with the spirit of girls and asks them why can't she see their face properly. Then the spirit says that during their growth in the womb they did not get to form their face properly. Now we get to know the actual story of the movie. We see scenes from past where Winnie was at the hospital and was getting some nutritional pills from the doctors. Joey had changed those pills and replaced it with abortion pills, the pills that were asked about by Joey's nurse friend at the first half of the movie. She gave those pills to Winnie. All daughters of Winnie were dead because of Joey's pills, so the spirit of those daughters were there to take revenge. Joey asks the spirit what do they want from her, then the spirit make Joey mad. Then the movie ends. Joey was jealous of Winnie, so she replaced her drugs with abortion medicine so that she won't have a baby and so she could have Joseph all to herself.
So the movie ends. Thank you for watching.